as a Lakers fan, I was watching the draft, and for me, started a little bit at pick 5. Ron Holland, somebody I had seen sliding possibly to our range. That hurt. Then pick 15 comes around. Actually, pick 14 comes around. Bub Carrington, someone I was hoping would be there. We'll just take him. 15 comes around. Khalil Ware. Let me just say, I think I might have threw something when it was like an audible curse word, like a very loud curse word. I'm sure my neighbors were like, "What's going on?" I might have threw something. Like, I was not happy with Khalil Ware going at 15. He's probably who I wanted for the Lakers. Then you have 16. So I'm like, all right, there's still good players left, but like a lot of the guys we probably needed are gone. Let's see what Philly's gonna do. They took Jared McCain. Immediately, I was like, dang, I like Jared McCain. Like, he would have been a good fit. But then I remember Dalton Knecht was still on the board. So I was like, all right, just turn the card in. Like, don't even think about it, turn the card in. Even though personally I like Tyler Smith more, I know we probably weren't gonna do that. So I was like, Dalton Knecht, easy pick here. I don't know why, like, I was terrified for them to take like someone like Yves Missi here. Like, truly, like, my heart was like beating. So it was very intense couple seconds in between like us coming on the clock and us like getting our pick announced. I was checking Twitter. It felt like Shams like had took a break or something. Like, nobody had the pick for the longest, it felt like. So it was crazy. But when we found out it was Dalton Knecht, I was happy. I'm happy with the pick. I feel like he's a good fit with what we do. He's more athletic than people think. He's a great shooter. He can shoot it from distance. His playmaking probably needs a little bit of work. And his defense, it seems like he really just wasn't able to lock in on that side of the ball this year with all he had to do on the offensive end for Tennessee. So I'm interested to see because he also had the number 1 shuttle time in the combine. So in theory, with his size, his length, and his foot speed, he should be able to stay in front of people. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. But as a Laker fan, I'm very happy we didn't mess this one up like we did last year, not taking Jaime Jaquez just because he was an older player. So while I do think Tyler Smith would have been a better player at this spot, I was hoping for a couple other guys to fall. And while I think we got a steal, I also didn't have Connect in my top 10 a lot of people had him. So I wasn't I had him around this range. So it wasn't a crazy steal in my opinion, but I definitely think he's probably one of the better fits for us in the draft, and I'm excited to see him play alongside guys like LeBron who can find him on the wing for open shots. And they said JJ Redick was already drawing up plays for him, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like it's the way that JJ Redick probably didn't have too much of an influence, I would imagine, on this draft, just because he only got there officially a few days before this first round. So, I mean, maybe when they told him they wanted to, if Connect was there, they wanted to take him, he probably was down with that decision just because in his 1 year at Tennessee, it almost resembled some of the stuff that we saw from JJ Redick while he was at Duke during those 4 years. So, I feel like he's going to know how to draw up scenarios and maybe out of bounds plays to go get Dalton Knecht open looks. And we know just based on his time with the Volunteers that he can shoot on the move, he can shoot off the dribble, and that's exactly what the Lakers need right now. I mean, how many times is the meme shared online when the Lakers have the best offseason, they're all the way back, and then all those guys that they signed just can't shoot, and then they're down in the dumpsters. So I feel like Dalton Knecht is exactly what Los Angeles needs. They need someone to go continue to space the floor and actually hit their jumpers. I think getting Jared Vanderbilt back could be pretty big as well. So maybe this is another year that Los Angeles makes a run at it.
I just know that Dalton Knecht is going to have games where he's just hitting jumpers and it just sucks the life out of everyone in the building, everybody watching the game who's rooting against the Lakers. That game in the tournament, I think it was against Purdue, he was just cooking, coming off screens, knocking down middies, hitting threes. I think to me, even though he may not be the best shot creator, I still think it shows that when you have a good shooter, they can still do a lot of damage. And I think when you pair him against a guy like, or pair him up with a guy like LeBron, who's arguably one of the greatest playmakers, passers ever, I think he's put in a position to really thrive. And I think with the Lakers' makeup defensively, I think he can be a good team defender. They have other wings who can guard, so there's not going to be as much pressure on him. And I know with Knecht, that was one of the bigger questions.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how we're going to use him in like an offensive perspective, because like to me, his offensive game is a little similar to Alex Caruso. Like he's this like a little bit bigger version. Like he can shoot it, and he's like sneaky, athletic. Like really not even sneaky. Like he's just kind of flat out athletic. Like I think he jumped to 39 in the combine. So like that was the first thing. Like I watched Dalton Knecht like as a former Kentucky fan, current Arkansas fan, but former Kentucky fan. I watched him play. I want to say 3 times last year when they played Tennessee, and like so I had seen him play. I seen him play in the tournament, but it had been a while since I went back and watched him on tape. So I went back last night and watched some of his highlights. And one of the things that stuck out to me was like Tennessee used him as like a real lob threat. Like in a lot of ways, like a lot of out of timeouts were just like pin downs or like little shake-ups for him to get lobs. And like to me, I think that like opens up like a world of like really interesting things you can do with like guard to guard pick and rolls, where maybe he screens for LeBron or he screens for someone like AD, and like he can either pop to the 3-point line and get like a really good look there, or he could roll and possibly be a lob threat.
That is a good point that you mentioned, though, because I think with him, that's something that people don't really talk about a whole lot. And I remember we did a breakdown during the season, and I was watching his film, kind of similar, and like he could be in transition, or like you said, he could be catching a lob, and he would just rise up, slam that thing down. So I think that'll be fun too. Like he also has kind of that entertainment value to his game, where it's like you're not really fully expecting it, but when it does, I could see it making him kind of like Caruso, where he's just a fan favorite. He may not be the same type of defender, but I still think that he has more offensive firepower, and he has the athleticism to just be a fun player.
And LeBron's had a lot of success over, the last few championship runs that he's been with, Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, like shooters on the perimeter that he can drive and kick, or they can draw up plays for off a screen on the pin down. So if Dalton Knecht can kind of fit a similar role to that, obviously those are some pretty big names to live up to. I didn't even want to bring up like Ray Allen with the Miami Heat, because that's just like a different tier of player than Dalton Knecht is, or maybe ever will reach. But just those types of archetypes of kind of perimeter shooter and scoring focused guys that are on the 3-point line, that's when LeBron's had a lot of success, and Lakers added another one.
Yeah, he definitely has he also has that thing like that JJ Redick had a little bit at Duke, and Austin Reeves kind of has in the league. Like he has like that little bit of like a-hole factor. Like he's also someone like that has like that type of personality. It's like, oh, like if you're rooting against that guy, like, oh, I kind of hate him. Like he's not like he has that edge to his game, and I'm also kind of excited, and I think it'll fit in well, because like I feel like a lot of times, like we seen it with JHS last year, like when young guys get to the Lakers, like the lights kind of are like a little big, like they're really big, and like you have to be a special type of person to like thrive under all that pressure, and like all like knowing that if you have a bad game, like the entire internet, it feels like is gonna come down on you. So you have to be like a special type of player to like still be able to shoot and like just keep your confidence up, and I think he's someone who looks to be that type of player.